It's a lot of drama with the beauty girls. Now, I'm not jumping on the Jackie Aina hate train, but let's talk about this. I don't know everything that's going on. I'm new to it, just like you probably are. But as far as I know, we're supposed to be boycotting Juvia's place, and I feel some type of way about this. I have been telling you all that I'm going to use this palette for quite some time now, and I still have not gotten around to using Coffee Shop, and this is still such a pretty palette. And I'm not going to even lie, I'm about to use my palette. I'm gonna use the palette and talk about it. I do understand that there's a lot of pressure on the beauty girls to boycott certain brands and everything when they're doing things. However, I am very new to the beauty industry side of things, and so far, I don't know much about Juvia's place. I don't know much about it. I'm only like finding out things as of late. So right now I'm going to be testing out the Coffee Shop while also talking about the drama. I'm feeling this one right here. I'm feeling these two. These are the two I'm feeling, like maybe 1, 2, and 3, and give it like a coffee and cream type of look. I think that might be cute. We're going to try that. I'm going to actually try that out. I'm not doing a face of makeup. I'm only just going to be doing this. So as I was saying, I don't know much about the drama that's actually going on. I just know that we're supposed to be boycotting. It was some racist stuff that had taken place back in the day. Juvia's place ended up working with Jeffree Star, and supposedly Jeffree Star said some very derogatory things about Jackie Aina on social media, and it became this really big thing. Now, I did not go down the rabbit hole of finding out exactly what had taken place. So that thing happened, and what people are mad about right now is the fact that Jackie Aina is actually working with Patrick Ta. Now, if you don't know anything about the Patrick Ta drama, as far as I know, Patrick Ta is known for not paying Black beauty creators, and Jackie is actively working with him, and it's very open, and people are mad about that. I understand why people are mad about it, because if you know anything about Jackie, she built her YouTube platform on speaking out, you know, against these brands who, you know, do things like that, who don't pay Black creators, who don't have shades deep enough for dark skin, and all of those things. So I understand why people are feeling like, Jackie, you need to do something, you need to say something, because you built your entire platform, your whole community, based on you having a voice and using your voice and speaking up for, you know, people who are not being treated fairly. So for Jackie to sit back and, you know, actively do that, it's like, Now, I am against these parasocial relationships where people feel like Jackie absolutely should speak up and she should say something, because honestly, we don't know what Jackie says behind closed doors. We don't know if she already had conversations with Patrick. Like, we don't know what extent their relationship even goes. I'm not saying that she should not say anything, but it's like at the same time, we really have to get out of our head with these parasocial relationships, because like, child, we don't know these people in real life. We only know what they put out here on the internet. That's it. My honest thoughts on this so far, and y'all know I don't have my glasses on, so I can't really see. But getting up close in this mirror, I can actually see. And I like this so far. Stop expecting these influencers to hold your standards. Let's see. I wanted to tap something in like this. Like, I don't know, I feel like this color is so pretty, but I also feel like it's not good for me because it like pulls my eyes down a bit, and I need something that is, you know, a tad bit brighter. So yeah. So I wouldn't use this combo in this exact order again, but I do like the pigment. It's very good. Application was super easy. I'm not telling people to boycott Juvia's place. I'm not telling you not to boycott Juvia's place. I'm going to just leave this at do what feels aligned with your values and your morals. I will say that Juvia's place is not the first brand to have something like this happen, and they will not be the last brand to have something like this happen, because as we all know, history does tend to repeat itself, and there are brands out there that are much bigger than Juvia's place and that are much bigger than Patrick Ta that are doing way worse. And I'm not saying that to make excuses for these brands, but I do feel like if you're going to stand 10 toes down and go against a brand, let it be something that's aligned with your values and your morals. And if you're going to go against like Juvia's Place, don't stop at Juvia's Place. Call out Patrick Ta. Don't stop there. Call out L'Oreal. Don't stop at L'Oreal. You know, just like basically keep going. Did we forget about how e.l.f. launched a whole edge control little system set type of thing? And we know who they left out. So if you're going to be calling these brands out, make sure you are doing it authentically. If you're going to boycott a brand, but you also see that other brands are doing things and you're not saying anything about those brands that are doing the same exact thing that you're boycotting. Now, I'm not saying you're picking and choosing, but I will say that's not equality. So you're going to actually call these brands out like Jackie Aina used to do. You're going to have to do some research and start calling other brands out as well, because it didn't start here, it will not end here. In order to make a real change, we can't be oblivious to the other brands. We have to call them out as well. All right, y'all, I couldn't go too much longer without my glasses. I say go big or go home. Don't just call one brand out because of what they're doing when there's other brands doing it as well. So people love jumping on a bandwagon and only calling out the popular ones, the ones that's getting some heat and everything. But what about the other ones? There are a lot of brands that are slipping under the radar. Look, there's smoke, there's fire with these other brands, and people know, people see it, and they're simply focusing on the ones that's getting a lot of attention. Because for the tripping with Tarte girls, I ain't forgot about y'all. And this is why I say parasocial relationships are no good. Like, people, we gotta chill. So these influencers and everything that you're expecting to keep calling these brands out, and you get mad when they work with these brands that treat people a certain way. It's like, yeah, I get it, but at the same time, we don't know these people. We don't know the conversations that they are having behind closed doors when they're signing these deals. We don't know, you know, them at all. We only know what they present to us. So for people to be mad saying Jackie Aina needs to do something, she needs to say something, it's like, at the end of the day, whatever contract she have with Patrick Ta, we don't know the conversation she had with him behind closed doors. We don't know if she even mentioned any of the things that's going on. Just because it's not front and center doesn't mean it's not happening behind the cameras. And at the same time, people need to learn to mind their business in the best way. In the best way. Like, I get it, it all works out when we are calling these brands out, especially collectively. But at the end of the day, the people that are working with these brands, this is still their job. Just like you probably go clock in to your 9 to 5 or however you clock in, that's still your job. So it's like, yeah, you probably got a manager you don't like your boss. You know, it's all of those same things. But these influencers who are working with these big companies who are having issues, at the end of the day, it's not the influencer's fault. She don't owe us a due diligence to go against these brands. If she decides to put herself out there to go against these brands, okay, so be it. We saw that in the very beginning of her career. We saw how she was calling these brands out and everything. But at the end of the day, if we're going to be honest, she also has to make a living. So yes, she's going to work with brands that may not have the best reputation. Like, what brand has the perfect reputation? I mean, because people used to love Target, and guess what? Target is now being boycotted. People used to love Walmart. Walmart's being boycotted. They used to love Amazon. Amazon is also being boycotted. And guess what? People still shop at Walmart. They still shop at Target. They still shop at Amazon. At the end of the day, these are parasocial relationships that are unhealthy that people are forming and are expecting influencers to speak out on their behalf. Like, well, we're not shopping here anymore. You shouldn't shop there either. These parasocial relationships that people are building in their head is unhealthy. Like, you don't know these influencers in real life. We do not know these people. So telling influencers to use their voice, use their platform, boycott this company because you don't like them, boycott that company because they're like this. And what if they are doing that in the background and they're just not putting it all over their social media platforms? Like, we don't know what they're doing in the background. We don't know them in real life, and we cannot expect them to speak for us. People are starting to ask for a lot, because if Jackie Aina is working with Patrick Ta and that's the one that's cutting her check, and you're telling her go against the company, and it's like, you're telling her to do this, but you don't even speak up for yourself at work when your manager is already petty, and he's like, you know what, I'm gonna let that slide. I'll just be mad about it, but I'm gonna let that slide. stop putting so much pressure on these influencers and stop expecting them to do things based on what you think you would do in that situation or based on your feelings and your emotions. Parasocial relationships is starting to fry your brain. As far as Juvia's place, I do like the way this palette looks. It is really nice. It's very beautiful. I'm not going to sit up here and tell you that I'm going to boycott a brand or a company that I don't really have experience with. Some brands and companies absolutely need to be boycotted against any form of experience. Like, you don't need experience to boycott it. But as far as this beauty industry goes, and knowing that I want to experience this palette, I'm not full on jumping on the Juvia's Place boycott and the hate train and all of that stuff. So I like it. I'm going to get some form of use out of this. Now, will I go out here and shop Juvia's Place? Probably not. Like, this was the only thing I was interested in with this company to begin with. So it's not at the top of my list. And besides, I'm switching to clean products and Juvia's Place is not clean. So I just want to get a few looks out of this palette and then we're going to toss it. Instead of being mad at these influencers for not speaking up and doing what you think is right and just and appropriate, just don't support them. You don't have to be mad at these influencers and try to get other people, you know, on the same hate train and bandwagon. Instead, if you don't like them, you don't like what they stand for, just don't support them. You don't have to spread hate. Just don't support them. It's just that simple. But anyways, that's my yap session. Whatever side you pick, let it be a side that aligns with everything that you stand for. But that's all I have for this video. I will see you in the next one.